A pleasant and a very good Monday. Welcome to August 24th, 2020. Well, for this podcast, we're going to talk about good things and bad things. Let's talk about the bad things first, then we'll save the good things for last. The bad thing to talk about is a continuation of the heat, the smoke, the dryness, and the fires across the western United States as stagnant high pressure is going to remain. However, the heat is going to be peaking, plateauing tomorrow and into Wednesday. Then most areas will see settle. These aren't going to be big temperature changes, but subtle temperature changes as we get into Thursday and the weekend with the cooler weather. If you remember last week, we talked about what was left of Hurricane Genevieve maybe coming into the western United States, increasing the humidity in the west. That'll help with the fires, increasing with the cloud cover, and increasing with the chance of rain-producing showers and thunderstorms. Well, we think that's going to happen. In fact, it looks like the pattern that we saw last week is holding. So subtropical moisture slowly kind of trickles in this week, gets deeper during the second half of the week. That's going to lead to some rain-producing showers and thunderstorms, especially Wednesday through Saturday. Today and Tuesday, there'll be thunderstorms, but they'll be the type we don't want to see necessarily. Most will produce more wind and lightning than rain. But rain-producing thunderstorms Wednesday through Saturday will be possible. We've got a big change coming next Tuesday and Wednesday. The change that's coming Monday and Tuesday of next week is going to really be quite a change. This is going to help smoke to thin out later this week and into next week. But we do have to suffer with the smoke and the haze and the heat for a little bit longer. Here's the fire smoke map across the United States, and you can see all the fires in the western United States with the deepest, thickest plume of smoke in this arch. And there's a good reason for that, because the high pressure ridge right here, the clockwise circulation around it just keeps the smoke in place. There's just really nowhere for it to go like this, so it just kind of hangs around until the fires are out or the pattern changes. But that change is coming. Let's take a look at where we are right now. High pressure ridge right over across the Four Corners region. So we continue to have heat and smoke here to start the week, especially today and Tuesday. However, by Thursday, a high pressure weakens. Here's what's going to be left of Laura coming up into the Midwest and Corn Belt. So there is going to be a lot of rain in this area here in the coming days from the tropical storm and hurricane activity heading up into the Gulf. But that is all going to come up and curve that way, not coming in. If we're going to get moisture from hurricanes, it's got to come from the eastern Pacific. And that is what is coming in with the remains of Genevieve, just like this. But you can see by the end of the week, this is by Thursday into Friday, the high pressure ridge weakens considerably. Then by Sunday, well, the high pressure is all the way down into Mexico, and look at this. Winds aloft are coming in from the northwest, so that's going to cool things off. Also, the trajectory of the air coming from here is not nearly as smoky. So by the weekend, the smoke will thin out. See this big old high building up in the Gulf of Alaska? For listeners and viewers of this podcast, you know that when you build a high in the Gulf of Alaska, you end up with a trough in the west. And there you go. This is by Tuesday, September 1st. Big high in the Gulf of Alaska. The ridge is completely gone, and we carve out a trough. So you're going to be looking at colder air coming in out of northwest Canada right into the heart of the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest and the Western High Plains by early next week. So with this big change in the weather pattern, there's relief on the way, not only with the smoke, there's relief on the way with temperature, and hopefully there's relief on the way with better chances of precipitation. Now take a look at these temperatures. Now these are temperatures relative to average. Now the computer modeling, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but what you want to do with the computer models is look at the trend. Don't necessarily look at exactly what it's saying with temperatures and precipitation. But if you look at the trend in the temperature change, this is for Tuesday of next week. These are temperatures relative to average. High temperatures on Tuesday are forecasted to be as much as 20 to 30 degrees below average. This is by next Tuesday, even getting west of the divide. So we're talking about a big change. By Wednesday, the cool air continues to sag south all across the western United States. So folks, there's help on the way. We have to suffer through the heat and the smoke here for another week, but even during the second half of this week and the weekend, we're going to start to see some relief. Precipitation with this change is looking better. You can see we've got some blues and yellows and oranges in here. I think the rain might even be better than this in some areas, even getting on to the western areas of the divide. So the change should help. Look at this. This is the snow forecast through next Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Look at this. It's even showing snow in the highest mountain peaks of Colorado. Yellowstone National Park, the Bighorns, the Wind Rivers. Now, will this happen? I don't know, but I want to highlight the change. The change is looking likely over the next 7 to 10 days as we head into September. Thanks for listening and watching the Day Weather Podcast. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.